All right, what is going on, Taurus Collective? Welcome back to the channel, Elevated Spirits. It's Jazi, your favorite Cali reader. So, this is going to be your new moon solar eclipse reading. These readings, this particular series of this reading that I've done for that I'm doing for all the signs as well as the collective energy is based around our fears, and the reason being, as well as why I'm playing ocean waves in the background, is because we're in this time where there's a lot of fear being projected out into the world, right? And it's important for us to be able to identify our own fears internally, so that way we can face them head on. But not only that, we don't let them ruin the blessings that we have coming, but we don't let it stop what we're doing either. And so it feels like for you guys, I am going to dive into the decks that I've used, the bottoms of them, that I've used for your reading so far. So we're going to start there. But the purpose, like I was saying, of this reading is to basically, when you are able to identify your fears and actually look them in the face, you realize that they're not as big or as scary as they may have seemed. But even if they may really feel like they are scary, if you're still clear about what those fears are exactly, it'll help you navigate them. And so that's what this reading is based around. That's what I was guided to do for this new moon solar eclipse. So, and also from what I understand, eclipse energy is said to last about 6 months. So even if you catch this after the new moon solar eclipse, just know that these energies still may apply to you. So my readings, as always, are timeless and unless otherwise specified. These, however, are intended specifically for this new moon solar eclipse and about 6 months out. Okay. Well, 6 months into the future. So whenever you catch this reading, I trust that there will be a message here for you. Okay. So this is either going to confirm something that you already know, or this is just going to shed light and insight into something you may not have been aware of, or maybe kind of like had an inkling of, but wasn't for sure, for certain. Okay. So at the bottoms of the decks that I have for you guys, what I'm getting here is it feels like some of you are meant to be healers. Okay. But the healing, and I say that because both of these cards here that are on the bottoms of two decks, one of the keywords in this one is healer. Person of water, the emotional idealist, and then we have the actual healer card, a shaman. So some of you are supposed to be shamans in this lifetime. Others of you are aware of this. Some of you may not be. However, the point is that before we can essentially position ourselves to support others on their healing journey, we have to support ourselves there first. And so for some of you, what this feels like is you guys are dealing with for some of you, it could be mother wounds. There feels like there is an energy here of the divine feminine being at the forefront, where some of you may have a hard time, may have maybe a mother wound that still needs to be addressed. Okay, this could be from your, a mother figure that raised you, or your actual mother, like a wound of some sort. Or some of you, there's an energy here of something that some of you have been thinking a lot about. And I'm gonna get into why I say that. Not only do I have the Eight of Swords here, but other cards that I've seen appear before I even, get into what has come out during your pre-shuffle. So what it feels like is some of you are essentially stuck in your head overthinking something. It feels like there's an energy that keeps coming up for you. Okay, something that some of you are ruminating on, that you're spending maybe a lot of time overthinking, essentially, kind of like thinking a little too much about. Okay, and there's a need here to make peace, to essentially accept maybe the way things are, the way a person is, or something that has happened. Now, mind you, accepting does not mean giving an excuse. It doesn't mean giving a person a pass. It doesn't mean that whatever happened or took place was correct or was right? But what it does mean is whatever has happened, it did happen, right? That's where we start. That we're acknowledging that this thing did take place, and this is how it made me feel, or this is how it affected me, right? And then allow yourself to get to a place where you're able to release that and let it go. See things for what it is, see a person for who they are, and allow yourself to come out of this energy of, feeling like I have to continue to think about this, or I have to continue to let this circumstance or this experience, this wound, this pain, this, whatever it is, keep me boxed in, keep me stuck. I just saw 444 on the timer, keep me stuck where I don't belong or where I'm not happy, right? So there's a need for some of you to really step into your power. And what I mean by that is pulling on your own inner strength, knowing that you are stronger than you feel, you are stronger than you realize. I feel like some of you may know this already, but some of you needed the reminder. Some of you, this solar eclipse is essentially bringing up, wounds and things for us to look at in order to clear them. And so I feel like some of you, even though you know that like I'm strong, I'm not a weak person, I feel like when it comes to certain topics or certain experiences, certain things, it can definitely be a bit sensitive. Otherwise, why would we be overthinking it, right? And so it feels like some of you are really being asked at this time to really allow yourself to clear these energies, to clear these experiences, to clear whatever it is that you find yourself overthinking or overanalyzing, regularly ruminating over, and really acknowledge that you really allow yourself to step into this magician energy here, which is your own, natural state of being, right? Being the co-creator of your reality, being able to, essentially turn water into wine, so to speak, right? Being able to take the elements and take, the things that you have available, the tools, the resources available at your fingertips, and, allow them to help you, right? Support you in transmuting your situation into one that you enjoy, one that you prefer. Okay. So, and that does, take strength. That does take a level of, courage. It does take a level of, accepting that, I am accountable for my happiness, right? Other factors do play into that, but at the end of the day, happiness is a choice, and it's a choice that we have to consciously choose to make over and over and over again, no matter what's going on around us, right? We can't stop life from happening, but we can control how we respond to life. Do we react without really thinking it through, without even taking a step back, taking a breath, and really seeing how, would be the best way? Or do we actually respond where we have taken the time to actually sit with things, think it through, and come to a rational way of responding to the situation, or a rational, well thought out way of acting, that's ultimately for our highest and greatest good. Okay. So looking at, let's see what you guys got going on. So what fears that you're being asked to identify at this time. I have 3 categories here, as well as some closing out advice from your benevolent ancestors. Okay. So we're starting off with more details on what the fears are that some of you, whoever I'm connecting with today, what fears are you being asked to identify, address, look at, essentially allow to come up to heal and release at this time. Okay. And then we're going to talk about how that may be challenging you at this time, and at least one way that you can overcome it. Okay. So we have forgiveness that came in reverse. Okay. These cards aren't typically read in reverse, but that's why I keep them upright, because if they do come out reverse, then I know that that's like a message in itself. So we have forgiveness in reverse. We also have the thinking man. So this is the card that I was speaking of when I said that some of you there's something that some of you are thinking about quite a bit. Okay. We'll get into that in just a second. And then we have baggage. Card number 7, Pisces energy. So some of you, Pisces could be of significance to you at this time, or will be during this new moon solar eclipse. So what I'm getting here, Taurus, and this energy is clarified by the 9 of Cups. Okay. So what I'm getting here is, Taurus, some of you, there's things that you guys are holding on to. Okay. There's and it's interesting. Fearing separation is here as well. So for some of you, there's something that you guys are, whether it's something you've done, a decision you've made, even if it's just about life, right? About like some of you, this like you're holding on to something that it feels like has to do with something, like I said, you've either done, something you said, something you're not forgiving yourself for, something that you're not releasing. Now, others of you, this is an unwillingness to forgive someone else. Okay, some of you, there's something to do with forgiveness here, and understand that forgiveness is never for the other person. It is for us. Not only that, forgiveness never means that you have to take someone back, or you have to give them another chance, or that by you forgiving them or choosing, forgiveness means that you're giving them a pass, or essentially saying that their behavior was okay. That is not what forgiveness means. Okay. I just want to make that clear. Some of you are already aware of that, but for those of you that are struggling with forgiving yourself or forgiving other people, for whatever, this is, that some of you, like I said, are finding yourself in this, 8 of Swords energy that you keep thinking about and really overanalyzing. For some of you, it has to do with the Libra. Okay. With the devil underneath that. So this feels quite major, actually, Taurus, because underneath that, we have the Emperor. Okay. All these major arcanas, followed by that, the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so this is, you have to understand, Taurus, that whatever is playing out here, whatever it is that some of you are, like I said, thinking, overthinking, having a hard time forgiving yourself or other people for, you have to understand that it happened how it was supposed to. And that's what I was getting with this healer energy, is that certain things that I've even noticed myself as a healer, they're the things that I've had to heal within myself. I would only be able to, it's like I had to go through those things in order to be positioned to be able to help other people, right? So I feel like some of you, this is kind of helping. This is the fear here is, though, it feels like, is if I release this or if I forgive them, where does that leave me? You know, are they going to still get what's coming to them? Absolutely. You know, if I forgive them, does that mean that, you know, do I lose who I am? Absolutely not. But you do have 2 cards of karma here. So you have to understand, when you allow yourself to release that energy and let the universe take care of it, let your spirit team, your guides, the Most High take care of that energy, you have to understand that justice will serve it will do its part on your behalf. It does every time. Okay. Saturn rules karma, and karma is the feminine aspect of Saturn. That is Saturn's counterpart. So I, just always recommend to be mindful as we refer to karma. Don't refer to her as a bitch, because she's really not, especially when we're asking her to balance the scales on our behalf, right? So this feels like some of you, it's like this energy of, if I release this, or if I forgive this person, if I let this go, if I, it's like this fear of, I won't know who I am by doing that. I won't, for some of you, it's a fear of, well, if I let this go, then I'll lose this person, right? It's something that some of you are just refusing to let go of. It's burdens. It's things that it's for some of you, it's like a fear of being accountable. Okay. Like some of you are scared to forgive yourself or others, because that then puts you, it's like an admittance of my role in a situation. But you have to understand, that's where your power lies, is by, allowing yourself to see a situation for what it was, as well as your own role in that. That's where the healing truly begins, is being able to, sit in that. And that isn't easy. I've done that myself many, many times. How did I allow this to happen? What did I say, or what did I do? What, red flag did I ignore that made this situation essentially way worse than it could have been, had I been more mindful and aware of my own role in the situation, right? Where could it have been prevented, right? So there's a need to be accountable here. Okay. But some of you, this has to do with your, happiness, your fulfillment. Okay. Some of you, there's this energy of, if I forgive this, or if I let this thing go, then am I going to be happy afterwards? There's a fear of what happiness for some of you looks like on the other side of letting this baggage go. It's like, I feel like some of you have maybe been holding on to certain things for so long that you've identified with it, where you feel like it's now a part of who I am. Who am I without this baggage? Who am I if I let all of these bags that I've been holding, if I finally just drop them and let them go, will I be okay? Will I be happy? Some of you, that's where this fear is coming up here. Okay. So I am going to clarify as I go. I feel like it kind of just helps the readings flow a little bit better when I do it that way. So let's clarify this 9 of Cups. I'm using a separate deck, so that way if the energies need to repeat themselves, they can. So clarify the 9 of Cups, please, for Taurus. Spirit, what is this fear? What is Taurus fearing here? What are the fears that they're being asked to look at, address, identify, so they can release during this new moon solar eclipse? And you understand too that these eclipse energies are designed as well to illuminate, especially when it's a solar. It's illuminating. The sun illuminates. It brings things to the surface. It helps you see the truth. It helps you see things for what they are, also as well as what they're not, right? And then allows you to drop them. Okay. So like I said, some of you, it's like the cards are repeating themselves here. Okay. This card says excess, unresolved issues, held together, pack rat, heavy burdens. Okay, prepare to go, next phase, long journey. Some of you are scared of what's on the other side of letting this, dropping all these wands, all this responsibility. If I, focus on my own happiness, what does that look like by me letting go of all these responsibilities, right? Some of you have been responsible for other people or other things, that really weren't yours. It feels like some of you have taken on baggage and burdens from other people. And so it's like this energy of, who am I if I let these things go? And I feel like that's where for some of you the fear is, or some of you are looking at if it has to do with other people, if I, let them deal with their own shit and I don't save them from their own, chaos or their own challenges, will they be okay? Right. And I get it. When you're caring and you're loving and you have been maybe doing something for so long, providing for certain people for so long, being that backbone, that support system for people for so long, it's like, people get accustomed to your support in that way as well. So I get it. It's like this fear of, if I finally choose myself, who am I? But also, who do they become as I make this shift? Okay. But that's part of the journey, is sometimes you just have to do it and figure it out as you go, and trust that process will unfold exactly as it needs to. And we already seen that twice with the Justice and the Wheel of Fortune. So you have to know that things are playing out exactly as they're supposed to. Some of you, the things that you've experienced up until this point, you needed to go through. That was part of your initiation as a healer. You had to learn how to heal yourself so that way you can support and teach others how to do the same. You guys are the sign of the teacher, right? Your major arcana is the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is the teacher that represents soul contracts, organization. So some of you, that is part of your life purpose, but you need to be the student before you can be the teacher, right? So let's keep going. So how this may be challenging you at this time, we have fire. Okay. So some of you, this has to do with your passions, with the things that you enjoy. Some of you, it's like you've been taken from what you enjoy. Okay. It's creating challenges in doing the things that you really, really love. Okay. So we have foundation. Okay. So some of you, it's like there's no passion in the home. There's no passion. If this especially has to do with a relationship of some sort, that could be really toxic. That could be that some of you are fearing the separation of, because maybe it's been happening and going on for so long. It's like, who am I without this person? Who am I without this baggage? Right? It's presenting, supporting you and helping yourself create a new identity. Basically, it's helping you jump into a new timeline. Okay. So we have two cards that came out. Gemini and Aquarius energy, 2 and 9, which represents an 11. Okay, that's a portal energy. So we have labyrinth, lost, complex, delayed, it's complicated, going inward, long way home, problem to solve, catch 22. Okay, and then we have worry beads. So worry, fear. So 3 cards. We already talking about fears, right? And then this card says fearing separation. This card is fear. So this is all about, it's all, encompassing here. Okay. Passing time, unease, needs care, fretful, de-escalate, nervous tick, repetitive motion. So some of you are really anxiety. It's like whatever this is, it's creating a lot of anxiety. It feels like within your body. And when you let unbalanced energy fester in your body, that's what creates what we call dis-ease. Okay. That's what creates conditions and, what's the opposite word of well-being, right? Unhealthy, habits. That's what creates, discomfort in the body, right? That turns into disease, that turns into conditions and things like that. So I feel like for some of you, that could be the challenges that's creating right now is it's, you have a passion to do one thing, but some of you, this situation is making you feel so lost and so anxious to where you don't really know who you are without it. It's like it's become a part of your identity. And like I said, that's not going to be for all of you, but so please only take the messages that seem like it applies to your situation. So, but yeah, some of you, it's like this is keeping you from coming back into harmony with what you want to invest in. For some of you, this has to do with your, like investing in your work. For some of you, this has to do with your money. Others of you, this has to do with, it's creating challenges in you reuniting with your own, with the things that, like I said, that you enjoy. Some of you have put your own passions in and, things that you like about life. You put it to the side for so long to where it's like, you're having a hard time going back to it, getting back to what I enjoy, getting back to what makes me happy, getting back to what I really feel driven and passionate and determined about. Okay. But again, like I said, when you are able to identify what these fears are, that's the point in being able to help you face them head on, because then you realize like, it's not as bad as I thought, or it's not as bad as it could be, right? It's a level of perspective that you choose to have. So let's clarify this energy. Spirit, why is this here for Taurus? Or how is this challenging them? How's these fears challenging the Taurus? for some of you, it's creating challenges because you're kind of like, it's putting you in this energy of, you know, like, I want to be happy, right? But is it worth it? Am I growing here? Some of you, it's creating a challenge because it's kind of making you, it's forcing you to analyze your situation. It's forcing you to analyze, like, am I giving? Am I providing? Am I doing whatever it is that I'm doing? Whatever I'm in, however I'm investing, is it working? You know what I'm saying? Some of you, it's kind of like forcing you to weigh up a situation, and that could be definitely scary. For some of you, that's what the challenge is here, is that you're being forced or positioned to kind of weigh the pros and cons of a situation. And some of you, that's not something you're ready to do, or not, you know, especially when it comes to like a marriage or something like that. What's like, for a lot of people, once you get married, it's like, that's it, we're staying together. But for some of you, you're really getting to a point where you're kind of like, you know, it's something I never considered divorce, but I have to. I'm like, the solar eclipse is really forcing people to consider things, life changes, and getting rid of things, people, connections, experiences, whatever it might be, that are no longer serving. So, you know, I get it. For some of you, this is like a community that you've invested in, okay? That you've been putting so much energy, time, and effort, and I get it. There's history there, right? But at the end of the day, it's kind of like you have to honor, you know, what you're being called to do. Okay. So we have the Knight of Swords. So this is, you know, I feel like some of you, you're being challenged to make a move that you're not sure if it'll turn out how you want. You know, it's kind of like moving quickly, making an impulsive decision, but being confident in the decision that you're being guided to make. Okay, I get it. That can feel challenging because you're not sure. You're not sure what's on the other side of that, right? But that's again where, like I said, some of you are being, you know, guided to know that you have all the strength you need. You just have to decide and choose that my happiness, my, you know, reclaiming my own sovereignty, my own life, my own independence is worth it. Okay. And being willing to step out of your comfort zone to do so. Okay. So let's keep going. So what is at least one way you guys can overcome? First card that came out was card 47. These numbers can represent ages, life path numbers, birth dates. We have 47, 15, and 6. So we have go the distance. Okay. So then we have message in a bottle. And we have flag, achievement, overthrow, success, victory, mastery, bragging rights. Plans are coming to fruition, king of the day. So, and all that is clarified by the page of wands. Okay. So what it feels like here is you're being guided to pay attention to the signs that you're seeing. Okay. It feels like the universe is talking to you at this time, Taurus. And so this is about, you know, one way that you can overcome these fears and, you know, get back into the things that you're passionate about and seeing things through to completion is just giving it all you got. It's really about, that's what this go the distance card is about, is, you know, essentially taking the messages, the signs, the synchronicities that you're getting at this time and putting them into action. Okay. You know, it's like there's really the best way to get that I've learned, and that I know a lot of people can attest to get through any challenge, is to go through it. It's instead of avoiding it, trying to go around it, finding alternative routes, it's literally to go straight through it. Okay. So this card is really about harnessing your inner power. Okay. Harnessing this inner cheetah, the inner cheetah within you. Right. And, you know, just kind of like full steam ahead. Okay. Really pulling on your inner strengths and seeing something through to completion. And it's interesting how this card here has a flag in it, and this card does as well. Okay. He's getting, you know, trying to get to the finish line here. So this is about, you know, following the signs that you're getting and, you know, going for it. Okay. Making, you know, mastering your emotions, mastering whatever it is that you feel like you need to master, and taking action. Okay. Getting excited about it. Turn it into a challenge, like, you know, like a playful challenge, right? Like it doesn't have to be as hard as it seems. It's just a matter of, again, how you choose to look at it. So if you treat it like a game, right? The same way you do if you're playing a video game, if you treat whatever these fears are from that sense, it's not nearly as bad as it seems. Okay. Because in my eyes, this game, this life, the simulation is literally one big ass Sims game. So if you look at it like that, you know what I'm saying? It puts you in the energy to better receive solutions to what we perceive as a challenge. Okay. And that'll be specific to each of us, right? But you have to be in an energy of allowing the solutions to come in. When you're constantly in this state of worry, of fear, unease, and unrest and anxiety, you're not going to receive solutions from that state. because your mind is doing too much of this to even hear it. Okay. So that's why it's important to, listen, pay attention to the messages, the signs, the synchronicities, the symbols, however that may be coming to you from your spirit team that's trying to help you at this time. Okay. So let's clarify. Why is the Princess of Wands here for Taurus, please? Clarify the Princess of Wands. And I'm also going to close out with a timeline card. So if you have something you'd like to know, get a time frame on, we get to that part, then I'll pull a time frame card as well. I've done that for all the other signs, so I want to be fair to you guys as well. So, Nine of Wands. So this is about setting boundaries, getting clear about what your boundaries are and putting them in place, executing on them. But this is also about resilience. So this is about taking action on your passions, on whatever it is you're being guided to do, and not giving up. It's like you've come too far. This is the wounded warrior. So when you're in this Nine of Wands energy, this is about, I've come too far to quit now. I'm so close. I'm so close to getting to the finish line. I'm so close to getting to where I need to go, to where I cannot quit now. So that's why, again, this card about going the distance, this is a time to really dig your heels in and give it all you fucking got. Okay. And see it through to completion. You will be successful, but you won't be if you quit now. So I really feel like, strongly Taurus, this is not the time to give up. I get it. It's hard. And that's typically how this happens, is when you're so close to your finish line, that's when you get challenged the absolute most. And I feel like some of you know this. Okay. So, this is about really, like I said, digging your heels in and really, getting that grit, right? Really being determined to see something through to the end. Okay. It's like your things that you are ready to give up on are about to sprout. That fruit is about to be ripened for the picking. It's about to sprout through the ground, right? But you're not going to see it if you quit. If you give up too soon. Okay. It's like a lot of people quit right before their blessings. Don't be one of those people. Okay. So some advice from your ancestors, your benevolent ancestors. Those are the ancestors that actually want to see you do well. Not all ancestors are here for your benefit and here to support you. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So I always recommend, if you're going to call on your ancestors for guidance, for support, make sure that you call on your benevolent ancestors, meaning those are the ones that want to see me do well. They want to see me and support me in breaking these generational cycles. They want to see me do well. Okay. Those are the ones that you call on. So from those ancestors, okay, we have truth and integrity. Okay. Card 32, you may be a life path 32. You may be 32 years old. The summertime may be of significance. And then we have soul awakening 28. So you could be 32 or 28, but your ancestors want you to know that, you guys are going through a major awakening right now. Okay. It's like your soul is being reactivated. For some of you, you've been a healer in a past lifetime, and that energy from that past lifetime, you're it feels like an initiation for that to come back up. So this is about, making sure that you do things from a place of truth and integrity, making sure that you're, honoring your truth and making sure you're speaking your truth. So even if your truth upsets other people, as long as you're being honest with yourself, you can't do anything about how other people, feel about it. Okay. Just make sure that if you make sure that you're doing things ethically and you're being honest and, you're doing it from the highest good for all involved, that's all you can do. Okay. So let's get a timeline card for you. So you can go ahead and think of a timeline that you'd like a time frame for, a situation, or whatever that might be that you would like a time frame on. I'll pull you a couple cards for that for Taurus, please. Feel free to pause the video if you need to, so you could think of something. But okay, so at the bottom we have in the next few days. So for some of you, this will be taking place in the next few days. The first one out, 3 months. Okay. We have before the winter months. So winter months have already passed, so that could be sometime next year. Okay. And before the next major holiday. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't celebrate these people's holidays anymore. And so I believe the next major holiday is July 4th. So for some of you, whatever it is that you asked about or inquired about, that's when that could be taking place. Okay. Tarot is not guarantees. They're just simply meant as a guideline. So you can claim it and, take that energy and use it to support you in co-creating whatever it is that you desire. Otherwise, check it. Okay. So Taurus, that's what I have for you. I really hope this reading supported you and helped you in the way that it was intended. If you did enjoy this video, I really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you have not. And until next time, you guys. Howdy.